Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and tonight we're on the red carpet at the mecca of comedy in New York, the one and only Caroline's on Broadway. We'll be bringing you interviews with Colin Quinn about his new web series Cop Show, as well as guests Jerry Seinfeld, Steve Guttenberg, Ramona Singer, and more. So get ready for a great night behind the velvet rope. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, with one of the funniest men in the business, supporting another one of the funniest men in the business, your buddy Colin Quinn. You guest star in this new show of his, Cop Show, and as a man who has his own successful web series, talk to me about what can Colin expect? How do you make a successful web series?
Well, they have so many great tools to use now. Like when I was doing television in the 90s, all you could do was interviews and for magazines and, you know, Access Hollywood. But now you can actually engage with your audience yourself through all the media that we have on the internet.
When you look at compressing into a 5 or 6 minute episode, as a man who made his bones in television where you get 22 minutes, talk to me about the difference in process and being able to compress it like that.
I haven't seen the shows yet in the 5-minute versions. I saw one. But I don't think it's no different. If people like the show, they like the show. They like the show, they watch the show. They don't like the show, they don't watch the show. Show business is so simple.
You were part of one of the greatest events I've ever seen, SNL 40 last week.
It really was great.
Talk to me about being part of that and the play with you and Larry David. It just never stops getting old. It never gets old.
It was so fun. It was a great honor. And Larry and I could not get over that people enjoyed that. We were thinking, what was the big deal? We were just fooling around. But it was a great honor to be part of that because that was a kind of like being enshrined in the Museum of New York Comedy. And I was very proud to have been invited.
You've got this fun mockumentary Law and Order style show on the internet, Cop Show. You've got pretty much a who's who of comedy. You called in every favor, I heard you say.
Oh, I called them all into this.
Talk to me about putting this show together. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, calling in favors is actually interesting because usually people say, hey, will you do my show? And I'm like, this, and you try to lie and find a way out of it. So now I know the way my mind thinks. So I always kind of cut off the ring before I ask somebody. The way you do it is you don't call them up and go, hey, I need a favor. You call them up for something else. It seems like it's going to be for them. And then while you got them there, you go, oh, yeah. And in town, at least you're out of town. They're like, oh, I'm in town for the next month. You go, hey, will you do my show? You don't say, are you in town? Because then they can lie. Comedians have gigs. They can always make up, oh, when? No, you make sure they said they were in town already. Then you hit them with it.
We're seeing so much great content move to the internet. What was it that inspired you to go to the internet yourself?
What inspired me was the rejections of all the other venues.
Everyone else said no, so you had to place yourself there.
Yeah, but I mean, it was meant to be. Even when I first wrote it, it seemed like an internet type thing. Something about it just felt like it should be on the internet. That's what it should be.
And as
but with the money of a network.
I mentioned earlier, it has this Law and Order feel to it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about putting that together and what drove you to that.
Well, what drove me to it, which is a good way of phrasing it, was Law and Order. That was never on Law and Order, so that always infuriated me on a lot of levels.
You're the only New Yorker.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And, you know, so then I was like, all right. And I was walking by the Law and Order steps, and I live downtown. I was like, that's the Law and Order steps. I should shoot something here about how I've never been on Law and Order. So that's how it started.
Talk to me about being here at Caroline's and supporting these great guys.
It's exciting. I think Colin is such a great talent. He's so smart, so funny. If you've seen his one-man show, it's just brilliant. So I'm looking forward to seeing Cop Show. And Jerry is a guy who comes from Massapequa. That's where I come from, so I got to support him. My pal Morris Levy is the producer. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. And I think the show is going to be terrific because anything Colin does is just class and quality all the way.
You are here supporting at Caroline's, a creative coalition, but also Colin Quinn, Jerry Seinfeld, and this great new web series. Talk to me about your support here and why are you here?
Well, number one, I love Caroline. She's the godmother of my daughter. She's the best. Number two, who doesn't love Jerry Seinfeld? And, you know, web things are just a new type of media, and why not support a new type of media?